There you go.
Good evening, race fans. Welcome to CRN's live coverage of the Hold Your Brakes Academy presented by PinUpsForVets.com. We are here at the very foggy and hazy Daytona International Speedway as we get back to our regularly scheduled broadcast. We're back to points racing here. We had the All-Star race last week. Certainly a fun little event. We had some chuckles and the drivers had some laughs. Well, it's time to get back down to business here, and we get back to some points racing here for the Xfinity class, and should be a good one. It's Daytona, it's super speedway, it's certainly one anyone can win, but I guess the question is, can anyone beat Jorge Ledesma lately? He is 4-time winner this season. He is your points leader by 44 points. It's fours all around here. I mean, he is the number 44, just in case you didn't know. So 4 is certainly the lucky number. I mean, it is my favorite number, but that's beside the point. I mean, he has just been on a tear this year, and it doesn't matter what track. I mean, he's won on a 1.5-mile quad oval, he's won on a 1.5-mile tri-oval, he's won on the road course, he's won on a 2.5-mile square, rectangular, whatever you want to consider, Indianapolis oval. So it doesn't matter. I think the only place he hasn't won yet so far is a 2.5-mile tri-oval like we're having here tonight. So we'll see what he can do. Carlin, we're joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, it's Daytona. What's it going to take to take down Jorge Ledesma, or do you just kind of have to wait for the big one here tonight?
Snow and rain. I mean, we got everything else out there. Overcast, 15-mile-an-hour winds. Any kind of weather that's out there besides precipitation is on the track. So I apologize ahead of time for maybe some of the cloudy coverage, but there's not much we can do unless there's some clear skies in the forecast after this qualifying. So we'll do the best we can. There'll be a lot of in-car and on top the car type of racing. But everybody's pack racing here tonight and wait for the big one. Will somebody be able to pull off the Days of Thunder move today?
Well, our other winners for the season have been Timothy Presley, James Smith, and Shane King. But as I mentioned, other than that, it's been all Jorge Ledesma for the first half of this season. 44 points is, again, the gap between the Ledesma and second place, Timothy Presley. They've kind of stretched their way away from the pack. Shane King is in third. He's 112 points back. Andrew Jones in fourth, 174 back. And then David Chapman in fifth, 175 back. So pretty big gaps other than between Ledesma and Presley, as they've kind of been the cream of the crop here so far this season. In the team points, it is Minor Motorsports leading by 4 points. That is the driver of the 44, of course, and the driver of the 22 over Royalty Motorsports. They're in second place. That is the driver of the 23 and the 60, and they've kind of, again, same situation, stretched themselves out from the pack, as CNL Racing, JMR, and Mid-Tier Racing are your top 5 here so far through the season. But we are done with one of the most unimportant things the entire season, qualifying here at Daytona. But Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and give us a rundown of tonight's order anyway?
The most unrecognized qualifying efforts will go to Shane King. He'll take the pole here tonight in the number 60, along with Joshua King on the outside by a mere 0.03 of a second. And then you have Tom Lanier, Joe Thomas for your second row, Tyler Reed and David Chapman for row number 3. Row number 4 is Aaron Genske and Robert Altman. Row number 5, Robert White and Robbie Miner. So the Roberts are all in a row there, along with Ronald Cook in 11th, Jake Raven in 12th, Bryson Anderson in 13th, Kelly Akron in 14th, Christian Proctor in 15th, James Smith in 16th, Sean McLean in 17th, Timothy Presley in that number 1 car will start 18th. Then we'll go farther back in the pack here for the rest of the drivers, as 19th consists of Jackson West, Thomas Osborne in 20th, Jorge Ledesma starting back in 21st, Ryan Perrone in 22nd, Tristan Miner in 23rd, Quinn McLean in 24th, and David Shively for your top 25. The rest of the drivers did not qualify, or maybe they touched a wall or something trying to get things done here. But Jeremiah Growl, Jeremy Gill, Andrew Jones, Rob Higgs, William Martin, and Matt Bryant all starting from the rear.
And I mean, here, as mentioned, qualifying not really a biggie. You can get from the back to the front in a lap or two at most. So we'll see what these drivers decide to do. Even some of the ones up at the front, we'll see if they decide to stay up front or if they decide to kind of funnel their way back to the back of the pack. A lot of times we'll see drivers drop down to the apron on the backstretch, and it looks like we get a driver drop into the to the pit lane here, and some bumping and banging. We got bump drafting before we even get out of the track, Jimmy.
I mean, yeah, might as well
They're ready to
accordion
go.
before we get out on the track. Hold your brakes, fellas.
Well, they get out here on the track, and we're going to be set for 65 laps around Daytona International Speedway. I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer, as this is race number 2 for us for this week. We still got 3 more yet, as we got the 2-hour season finale for CSRL tomorrow night, and Pit Road Speed Limit Racing is going to be having their week off next week. Then we'll have the doubleheader on Thursday night with Virtual Velocity Racing wrapping up their season at Michigan, and Core GT Series happening right after that. But as you can see, if you can see, we're pacing down the backstretch. We're going to get this thing fired off this time by.
Yeah, just I think the biggest thing tonight will be to pay attention to the Skittles. And I'll go ahead and I'll bring up the timing tower from now and then. I'll show you all 31 drivers, kind of see where your favorite driver is sitting, and I'll go ahead and I'll add some gains when they move up and down spots for your easy of convenience of reading. Once we get to pit stops, I'll show those as well, so we can see when our favorite drivers have decided to pit. Maybe they'll get some green flag runs in here. We're gonna be out here for 65 long laps here at Daytona. Can they hold it together?
Yeah, I mean, this is survival. You just got to find your way to make it to the end of this thing and keep the thing in one piece, and hopefully you have a chance to win it before everything is all said and done. But looks like we are ready for some racing. Green flag is out. Barney is waving it. We are racing at Daytona.
Racing at Daytona, and the 60 is on the inside. Gets away here for a clean break. Not too much of a gap, but a little bit of spread out here up front, not all nose to tail, so drivers being able to fall down in between each other. Looks like Joshua King will go ahead and fall down there into P number 2 as they exit turn number 2 and head down the backstretch.
And it's so easy as drivers here to want to get into this thing and want to get right to it and start battling, start going 2 wide, 3 wide, and work your way up. You want to get a lap lead, but again, it's not worth the risk, especially this early on. You just got to settle in, relax a little bit, and kind of work your way through the pack as needed at the end of the race. There's no reason to be fighting, battling, especially going 3 wide here. Yeah, second half of the race, once you get to maybe lap 35, lap 40, then maybe you start testing out some other things. Figure out who you can work well with. Some drivers are better pushers. Some drivers are better at getting pushed, and you need to figure that out. And it can vary between the drivers that you're working with. Sometimes you'll have a driver that works better pushing you, and then you get up to another driver, you're better off pushing them. So figuring out who your quote-unquote teammates are, whether they're actual teammates or not, is kind of what you use the first half of the race for. Then the second half, maybe work together, figure out some ways to work your way through the pack, see how long it takes to go from 10th to 5th, and so on and so forth. But not really worried or concerned about it until the end of the race. But along the way, Jimmy, the biggest thing we try and harp on week in and week out that drivers just very, very seldom work on: pit stops. And here tonight at Daytona, on these 2.5-mile tri-ovals where you are flat out the entire way, the pit stops are paramount.
Yeah, pit stops are, obviously one of the most important things to a race, especially, if you happen to have a green flag pit stop, and you want to get in your pits. You want to make sure you don't miss your mark coming in. You don't want to get caught speeding, but you want to make the best of it. And if you're coming in a pack, you don't want to run into the person in front of you, even if they're running a little bit slower. And there's a lot of things that go on, especially in a pack when you're coming here at Daytona. You need partners out there. You can't win this race by yourself. I mean, you could try, but you can find yourself losing the pack in the back of the pack or whatever it may be. And you can already see here on the screen, you have 2 little sections of Skittles, as I call them, and then you got there's a third group back there, all the way back there with Jeremy Gill. So Jeremy Gill hanging out there back with Jeremiah Grau. So just probably imagining something's going to happen and happen early. And as it says there, the caution does come out. Does look like the 53 might be involved here. So let's see. I think Robert White. see here. So you can get here with Robert White, see what's up with him. So they're the 69. I seen getting passed, so we'll see what happens here. 69 is down at the bottom in the middle of your screen. The red car, red and white, a white front end, but it does look like up in front of them, Tristan Miner is going to get. No, that's not Tristan Miner. That's the 19 of
Kelly Akron.
Kelly Akron. Yeah, and the 69 is going to get involved there as well. So that's why he gets passed. The other drivers avoiding.
31 may got a piece there of the back end of the 69 there as well. So not the big one. Certainly a few cars getting involved and some major damage to some of those cars, but we've seen worse. So some of these drivers will get back to pit lane without even having to tow and get one of their fast repairs, get back out there. The drivers here tonight are going to have just one fast repair. So this is sketchy, scary. Let alone the fact that they do go out there with their 17x maximum, where once you get to 17x, you got to come through for a penalty. 25x will get you a DQ. So here at Daytona, it can happen pretty quickly. I mean, you get a little bit too hard of a shove from a bump draft and you can get some incident points. But good to see that man out front right now, Joe Thomas. Doesn't get a chance to get out here and mix up the boys and girls here too often, but he is out there, and the 218, not the 217, is out there leading right now. So good start here for the man behind the series sponsorship here and pinupsforvets.com. So I want to thank him for bringing them on board to help out the Hold Your Brakes Academy, and obviously letting us cover the race for everyone out there in Sierra Nation.
I think the lights are starting to burn off the fog a little bit, Carl. The lights have now turned on the track, and as you can see, the timing tower has now lit up with a lot of people come down in pit lane. A few drivers gonna stay out though, so them 6 laps could mean something, it could mean nothing. Obviously, we always debate here up in the booth what drivers are thinking when pit stops are happening, and this early on, I don't blame anybody that's down in the pits right now for coming down and topping off, and they're probably don't. If you want tires, you can take them. Definitely not needed here at Daytona. You could probably get away with no tires at all. Carl will argue that maybe newer tires are a little bit better towards the end when you need a little bit extra grip to make a move, but I don't think it's a necessity here. But right now, a few drivers going in, topping off from fuel, and this is going to kind of separate your field almost instantaneously. And you can see that I'll bring up the pit lap for you so you can see who came in and who did not. So them top 7 drivers did not come in, so I would assume those top 7 drivers plan on sticking together, Carl.
Yeah, and it's not a bad idea to figure out. You need more than one person in your clique here tonight, in your group and your team, whatever it is. You're going to need 3, 4, 5, because not only are you going to lose that one person that you may have been working with all race, you're going to lose them at some point, whether they switch lanes on you or through pit stops or whatever. You need to basically have backups for backups for backups, and you need to do that when it comes to coming in the pits. You don't want to come in just you and one other driver. You certainly don't want to come in by yourself. So it's tough. I mean, you want to, some drivers want to be out there leading because they feel like if they're leading, there's a less of a chance for them getting caught up in anything. I mean, the only way they're going to get caught up is if somebody bumps them wrong, turns them, and starts the melee that way. Other than that, the wreck is going to happen behind them. But you're also burning off the most fuel. Everybody's drafting behind you. If you're the leader in that line, you are breaking through that air first, and therefore got that pedal mashed down more than anybody else behind you. So you got to keep an eye on that fuel, because if you have one less lap than everyone that you've been working with and they don't want to come in with you, you just got used and abused and you're going to be stuck by yourself.
Yeah, used and abused, and it's we've seen fuel races kind of work out here, and people just going driving off down on the apron and almost dragging the brakes just to make sure that they're not out front, because people do get reluctant to get up to the front and lead this thing, because you can't go anywhere. by yourself. And Carl talked about it just a little bit. You know, if you're by yourself, it's bad juju. It's only a matter of about maybe 10 to 12 laps and you're lapped. It doesn't take long at all. When you're by yourself, the speed difference is probably around 15 to 20 miles an hour difference, you know, by yourself or together in a pack. So you definitely want at least 2 other cars, I would say, and you're pretty safe. But I think the best bet is at least 4 or more to kind of keep things going at race pace. That nice fast draft going here. And, you know, this is Daytona. You know, one thing maybe drivers haven't realized yet, and if you're out there listening, when you go into the corners, lifting just a small amount will stop your car from shifting up into the next lane or a half a lane up, entering the pits. The only person that's probably truly on the throttle 100% is the leader. Everybody else, you know, with that dirty air, you know, coming behind somebody, you get that momentum into the turn, and the next thing you know, you know, you're gonna get, the car gets a little tight and it pushes out. So just a little ease of a lift, and you can hug that line or hug the person in front of you without shifting up a half a lane. So over and over again, I know I make sure I put it out, but it is one of the things out here. Some of the veterans that know how to defend out front, and there's a way to do that. But we're back under green as the pace car is in. Joe Thomas will lead the field down in turn number 1.
A little bit better restart from the field this time, and hopefully we'll get to see this field kind of settle in here a little bit. Yeah, it's so easy to make one little mistake, and we've talked about it before when it comes to these super speedways where some drivers prefer being on the bottom. They feel like they can just hook around right on that the yellow line, like Jimmy prefers, and then other drivers like the freedom of being able to move a little bit in that second line, just in case you know, something happens, in case somebody down on that bottom line drifts up a little bit, entering the corner or mid corner, or gets a bump in the corner for some reason. They have a chance to move out of the way. So yeah, to each his own. Either way, if you're not leading, you feel a little bit maybe claustrophobic and stuck in that pack. And that's why I always say there's kind of 3 schools of thought. There's the guys that like leading, the guys that like dropping in the back, and then the psychopaths that like running right in the middle of that pack.
I don't mind the middle of the pack. I don't prefer to be in the top. I feel like I'm where you say being claustrophobic would be middle high side for me. So if I'm back in the pack a little ways, I'm just gonna kind of hang down at the bottom unless I'm found somebody that's going high and I want to work with them. Then yeah, I'm gonna go high. I'm gonna push whoever my teammate is and follow them around and get that run going. You can see there's 2 lines here for about 6 rows back, 2 by 2 here, entering turn number 3 as they working our way around through the exit of 4, getting ready to come down the front stretch. But it does look like another caution is going to come out here, trying to see who it is. It does look like the 99 was involved of Commoneer, and yes, there it is.
And just kind of like not the top line, not the bottom line, just kind of like an alt line there for the 22. And I don't think the 99 thought the 22 was going to be that, you know, high up off the bottom with a car on the inside. But that is going to bring us under another caution here, and a few cars getting involved in this one here again, and some damage to it. And that's the problem. I mean, some of these cars, not much damage right there. Like even like the 3 right there, it didn't seem like you got too much damage to the front. But you need everything here at Daytona. You cannot afford to have a fender bowed out at all anywhere on the car, because you're going to lose some kind of speed. And God forbid you lose the draft a little bit, you're done for. So you need that car clean, but you only get one fast repair. So you better hope that crew can do a good enough job repairing it without using that fast repair, if that's all it is, just a little bit of damage.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, obviously you talked about the damage, and it is important, you know, if you do have a little bit of damage, say it's on the front end, you know, you might just be a real bad person to be up front, but you might be able to get tuck right back up underneath somebody as long as your car is not down power, and be a good pusher, you know, and just kind of stick your nose out every now and then to, you know, get that cool air, not overheat the engine. That is a thing here. Obviously, if you stick up behind somebody too tight for too long, the car will overheat. So something that the drivers have to do is pay attention to their water temperature. You know, that's something that iRacing added not too long ago. They added the those gauges for the drivers to kind of bring them up the dashboard, because a lot of these cars, when you're in them virtually, with a single monitor, you don't see the dials or the dashboards, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. I'll drop down in one of the cockpits with somebody here, and you can just see at the bottom of your screen here. I'll take away the driver display here quick so you can see the whole dash. But you can see just my dials right now would be, this is the way I have set up. I have 32-inch monitors, so I got a pretty good amount of real estate to see some vertical dashboard, and basically you can just see the stuff underneath, but you can't read everything too well. And if I do this, oh, wait a minute, no, it won't show me because I'm not in the car. I was going to see if I could bring up my virtual dashboard and show you all what it looks like. But they do get some an indicator. It's just digital, and once that temperature starts to go yellow and then up to red, and you don't want to hit that red mark, and then the engine will blow. So that's when you kind of know the cue to kind of get out. So right now we are inside of Toyota, and then this here would be a Ford with Robert Altman. You can see the dashboard's just a little bit different. You can see more of the looks like voltmeter, and that one there, it does look like you see the oil temperature and water temperature over there to the left-hand side, just underneath the steering wheel. And then the Chevy, you can't see nothing at all. So, no, I take that back. On the left-hand side, you have the water temp and oil temp. So yes, it's on my screen here with the Chevy. So if I drove a Chevy or a Ford, I'm probably okay. And then Toyota, I'm guessing. But they do have a nice fuel gauge on the right-hand side. I never noticed that.
So you learn something every time we broadcast here, Jimmy.
When you're driving, you're really not looking at some of those little dials. I got all kinds of other overlays flopping around my screen trying to tell me who's left, who's right, who's, where I'm at, how much fuel I got remaining, how much, I got a spotter in my ear telling me there's somebody left, somebody right. I got all kinds of fancy gadgets that will blink when people are in certain spots, and yeah, I try to do my best to kind of be informed of where everybody's at. Does it make me any better? No, but does it look cool? Yeah. Gotta look cool, while you're driving.
I mean, listen, even with the paint schemes, you always say, look fast, go fast. If you have just a plain old paint scheme, it doesn't work for everybody. I'm not saying you can't be fast. We've certainly seen drivers like, Aaron. He certainly he's beaten us once or twice with his just banana yellow paint scheme.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll see if that happens again now with the Core Premier Series coming back, and he's already signed himself back up for that.
Oh, my goodness. That's how to get him out of hiding anyways.
It's amazing. You think, just when you think he's gone, yeah, it's like herpes, man. It just flares right back up. You put out the right thing for him, go the Premier Series back up there, and he's right back at it. But
it just shows you there's people out there that are just as crazy as us, Carl.
Yes. Whether good or bad, either way. But we'll get this thing back underway, and it is going to be Robbie Minor, Timothy Presley on the front row, Christian Proctor, Robert White, Joe Thomas for your top 5, Thomas Osborne, Shane King, Tyler Reed, Robert Altman, and Jake Raven for your top 10. But check back with me in about 2 minutes, and it'll be completely different as is Daytona. But hopefully the drivers can settle in here. We've already clicked off 11 laps here, and on lap number 12. So even under caution here, these laps are clicking by, and they only get 65. So hopefully we can get this thing stretched out a little bit, maybe get a green flag pit stop, and really see kind of what Jimmy looks forward to, and the craziness of coming in the pit lane.
It's by far when the drivers can nail a green flag pit stop at Daytona in a big pack. And I'm talking big pack. I'm talking like 10 to 15 drivers all at once, kind of coming in, not hitting each other, and just basically bingoing that stop and getting into their and then come back out. It's just a beautiful sight to see right here. You see where the pace car's coming in now, but they're all fanned out and coming in. But we're back under green here as Robbie Minor will take the green flag and lead everybody down to turn number 1. Gets a not too bad of a start. Christian Proctor right behind him, so it's going to allow to keep that field kind of back there. But you don't want to jump out too much. We've talked about it before. It does look like we have a blinker between Joe Thomas there somewhere. He should be showing back up maybe, but it looks like, did we get somebody disappearing? Somebody drop?
And that's not something you want to have anywhere, but especially at these super speedways, because if he pops up anywhere, it could end up being the cause of a big one here. But Yeah, I'm not seeing it here
I
myself.
don't even know who it was.
Trying to see if there's anything. I don't see anything on SDK that somebody disconnected. But either way, Robbie Minor, Christian Proctor at the front of this field. And you see it a little bit spread out here. I mean, we got a little group at the front, but then after this, it's going to spread out single file. And I think those drivers back there maybe just realizing we need to wait a little bit. We need to be patient here, and maybe some of them involved in some early issues don't want to get involved in another one. Maybe they've already used up that fast repair, and they got to be smart about it. All you have to do is just stay within the draft. You can fall back as much as you want, as long as you're within about a second. Usually, a second is kind of the buffer zone that you need to be in to get a little bit of a sniff of the draft. If not, you're going to need somebody to drop back, or maybe somebody that's behind you to come and get up there and push you back up to get to the pack, if you can. But out front, Robbie Minor, Christian Proctor on that inside leading the way. And it looks like on the outside line, trying to see who that is. Looks like it is Tyler leading the outside charge with the 37 and Jake Raven behind him.
Yeah, doing a good job. And obviously, there's no, like Carl's talking, there's no sense of like really pushing anything too much. But you get a little 3 wide action there around the 60 of Shane King. They're still 3 wide there. You can see them jockeying around a little bit. Who is that in the middle? That is the, see when they come by here, that is the 115 of Aaron Genske. So Aaron Genske trying to make a move towards the front, was able to be 3 wide there for a while. It does look like the 57 of Thomas Osborne was up in the wall just a little bit. See, looks like Kelly Akron's tagging the wall just a little bit as well. Some sparks are flying, but still moving forward. Gotta be careful with that outside wall. I don't want to lose too much momentum, could cause a big accident. But inside line looks pretty squared away. A few drivers on that outside, maybe just looking to kind of hopefully catch up, but just kind of hang out there. As long as you where you're at, leave about a car width apart. Everything should be fine. 2 wide works great around here in Daytona, especially right now when things kind of settle down and it's time to go. Probably within that 10 to 15 to go time. I would imagine drivers are really pushing 2 and even 3 wide.
Yeah, still plenty early for that, and like I said, hopefully we do get a green flag pit stop before then, because that's when it'll get interesting. And that's when, if you are 2 or 3 wide, you better figure out how to get down to the bottom and make your way in there, because it's not gonna be fun trying to dive from that outside line. I mean, we've seen it before, Jimmy. We've seen it 2 and even 3 wide. Sometimes they all know that they're coming in on the same lap, and they all kind of just file down off the track. But you want to talk about sketchy, scary, dumb, whatever you want to call it, it is not a smart idea to do.
No, it's when drivers start racing at the end, you'll see drivers that have been around, and they're going to go ahead and they're going to start getting closer to that inside guy or outside, and they're going to use the that side draft, and the side draft is extremely powerful with these cars, and it will drag you by yourself along the main row. Obviously, it works better if you've got a few drivers working with you to do that, but you can hang there on the outside by yourself just using the side draft. But I'm sure the guy on the inside is a bit uncomfortable, as netcode does tend to happen here quite often. But right now, we're doing good. Robbie Minor still out in the lead with number 13, a Christian Proctor, behind him in the Spudge Bomb machine. In the second. Then you have Tyler Reed, Jake Raven, Joe Thomas, Jeremiah Grau, Aaron Genske, Thomas Osborne, Robert White, and Shane King all in the top 10.
Thank everyone out there again for tuning in here tonight, as this is not going to be their last race before the Christmas break. They're going to have one more next week before we take a little break until 2026. But certainly one that a lot of drivers, I'm sure, looking at as a potential chance to win. It is a wild card, if you will, in the series. It is one where you can see, certain drivers tend to be better at super speedways. There's certainly a knack to it and a way to handle it, and some are better than others, but it's a chance for those drivers that maybe aren't as fast, that the ones that can't win on your intermediates, can't win on your short tracks, on your road courses. It's their chance to maybe get up there and shine and maybe get that best finish of the season. Maybe it's a top 10, maybe it's a top 5, maybe they can get up here and talk to us with a podium or even a win. It's their chance to draft their way and get lucky, or maybe pass, 5, 6, 7, 12 guys on the last lap because they're wrecking in front of them and then sneak away a win. So this is must-see TV for those that are typically mid-pack or back-pack markers for them to get up here and maybe have a chance.
Yeah, it's that opportunity. You're not being you're not going to be beat on sheer speed. A lot of the to win here, it takes a little bit of luck, some strategy, being in the right spot at the right time, and hopefully y'all get to see some great green flag pit stops, because that really makes or break a team or a driver to kind of get down in there and hit those marks and getting in and out of the pits. But if you're the only person that comes down in the pits and the bingo's your stop, but the rest of the people that you came with did not, well, then you're out there by yourself, and guess what? They're going to catch up anyways. So you do need a few drivers to be able to basically hit that pit stop, with you. So it's important. It's more important than running hot laps around here. Obviously, you can see here how the car's kind of bobbling around. Driver's still kind of racing a little bit, maybe choosing a different lane. Like, I don't like the bottom. I just want to see what the top's like. And all this is fine. As long as it's a safe move, there's no reason to rush. We're on lap 21. We're not even at the halfway mark. There's plenty of racing to be had here. You can see up ahead, just at the top left of your screen now, drivers are catching up to a lap car, move down in the cockpit, so you can see what that's like and kind of what the closing speed is. We'll hop on board with Jake Raven, and you can see the bug splatter on his windshield as well. But you can see the car up in front of them that they're catching extremely fast here as they head down to turn number 1.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you go off cycle or you go in there by yourself and come back out, you can get back to the draft. But that's when everybody comes back around and past you and you're a lap down. And you see these cars right here by themselves. Hopefully they can at least hook up together and get some kind of speed out of a draft and maybe avoid going down a lap. It's not easy, and you need to really be committed to it. And you can't race side by side with each other like you're seeing right here. But you see the one there of Timothy Presley is about to go a lap down, and this is not a fun spot to be in here for the one, because he wants to be picked up by the pack, but he's got to be careful here. The leaders go by. He's looking for a spot to slide into, but it is 3 wide. That was real close there with the 37. Now the 19 of Akron right there. Now the one can finally slide back in. He's a lap car amongst all the leaders, but still up there, and maybe has a chance to get the lucky dog at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to have the whole pack blow you by, and then you miss that draft altogether. He's in a spot to kind of have. I'll go ahead and bring up the tower here. You can see Timothy Presley. Oh, he's 3 laps down, Carl. He's going to need a few cautions, because obviously first driver 1 lap down is Davis Shively, and he is in the pack of 2 with the 88 of David Chapman. So just kind of hanging on right now, just hoping for a caution. But these 2 drivers are in danger. Shively of going 2 laps down and Chapman 1 lap down. So it's going to take a little bit longer for the pack to chase him down. And as you see, it took about a half a lap for those drivers to catch and pass the one of Timothy Presley. So you can see about the same here. It's going to probably take maybe 2 laps or so. If we go up here, I show the dashboard here for these 2 drivers. They're running about 177 miles through the corner, 177 miles an hour, and then Robbie Minor and the gang are at 182. So about 5 mile an hour difference in the corner. Obviously a little more. You can see some bobbling going around back there. That is, I think that's Kelly Akron bouncing around back there, that nice bright white car. So it's easy to catch up Kelly every now and then when he makes a mistake.
Yeah, not the way you want to be caught on camera,
No.
But either way, a good little run for these drivers as last pitting on lap number 10. So about a 15-lap run roughly since they got back to green flag racing. Definitely bobbing around at the front as well, with Christian Proctor in the lead, Robbie Minor there in second. We'll see how this thing plays out. We still got plenty of racing to go. We're only on lap number 25 right now. 40 laps to go when they hit the line, but it's Minor, Proctor, Thomas, Reed, Raven for your top 5, Genski, Grell, Shane King, Joshua King, and Thomas Osborne for your top 10.
Yeah, I think Jorge just kind of avoiding things right now. I know he's got a, obviously your points leader, but in the back of the pack, and this is kind of what it takes. He's been doing, I think he did this last race, last Super Speedway race. We watched him and just kind of hang out. There's no, like you said, there's no reason to rush. We're not even at the halfway mark. He's not in danger. He's in the draft. It just takes, one or two people to start to going with him when he gets that chance to push that draft and come alongside and make your way to the front. But I think they're all understanding that there is going to be a pit stop here sooner or later. When? I do not know.
Yeah, we always try and speculate, always try and guess and try and figure it out. But
I don't think anybody told me today. Sometimes people will say about 18 laps, about 20 laps. And so I'll go off of that, and the next thing you know, they're driving like 5-10 laps over that anyway. So it doesn't matter if I go out there and do the guesstimation and fuel, or as somebody tells me, it's usually a couple laps off. These all drivers drive a little differently, was that leading, was that down, by herself? You see the 6 awful slow down there. That's Sean McLean going back out here, not trying to get in the way, but trying to get some laps in. I guess here is a few laps down at the moment. I believe just coming back out. He was the one that disconnected earlier. He's now 26 laps down, so tough break there for the 6 here tonight. I don't know what kind of issues he had, but now back on the track. But back up front, it is the 13 of Christian Proctor and SpongeBob SquarePants Machine out front to lead this thing.
One thing I haven't really talked about is size of the field that we got out here tonight. We had 30 drivers that were that took the green flag here tonight. 31 signed up. It's fantastic, especially halfway through the season here, and especially given the type of league this is. This league is kind of geared towards your rookie iRacers, your newer drivers here, your ones that are maybe not polished here, and certainly not your top of the top of the heap drivers here. It's geared more towards the drivers that are just trying to learn some things and get better. So the fact that we have that many here is pretty impressive. And yeah, we are going to have our first round of pit stops here. Look like the 115 maybe got to the back of the 53 a little bit coming in. The 13 in there as well.
I see no black flags.
No, yeah, everybody's nice and clean in there. Looks like Perone, White, Anderson, Osborne, and Cook also going to join them in pit lane. But this is where you gotta bingo your entry. You got to make sure everybody's on the same strategy as well. As is anyone taking 2? Has anyone taken 4? Are we just taking fuel? Make sure everybody's on the same strategy. And you see the 115 gets a great pit stop, but he's got to kind of slow up a little bit. Good job, way to get in and out so quickly, but you got to get this thing going here. And it looks like Proctor had an issue coming out of pit lane. Not sure what happened there.
Yeah, they got in together coming off the pit lane here. I'll go ahead and replay that here as everybody's trying to rush to get out, and you'll see 13 kind of
7 drifts up
right there.
Yeah, 7 drifts up and makes contact. And our early leader here, Christian Proctor, going to get spun around. And I'm not sure if he's going to be able to have anybody to draft with to get back up there. But pit stops have started, and this is where the fun can be. And you can see it right there as they're catching up to the 13. It looks like, not sure who it was, got into the back of Davis Shively there. Looks like, yeah, I think it was a 37 right there, getting into the back. So Jake Raven looks like he's clean. He got into the back of the 85 there, but he still looks pretty clean out there. But the 13 very slow, trying to stay up to the top side, and it certainly scared a few drivers that caught up to him pretty quickly.
It scared me. You can see there's the 115 with that great pit stop, but he only has the 50 with him. So a team of 2, which will take a little while for Bryson Anderson and the 69 of Robert White to catch up, because they're a team of 2. And then back behind them, Robbie Minor. And you can see behind behind Robbie, you have David Chapman. And well, there's a lap car there. Let's see, that's the 40. No, that's the leader. So this is the leader here, getting ready to lap, Robbie Minor. But they should be coming in here soon. But yep, they're going down into the pits right now. Tyler Reed, Jeremiah Grau, Joe Thomas, Kelly Akron, Robert Altman, Jake Raven, all in the pits.
And that group that Jim has mentioned really spread out there, and they really need to get it back together here if they want to continue back as the lead. You see right here, kind of all mixed and mingled here at the front from some of these drivers coming in the pits. Shane King is your leader when he's got lap traffic right in front of him right now. I mean, granted, they're lap traffic because they've already made their pits, but you see the one there trying to make it through as he's trying to get a couple laps back at this point, having the early issues, but we still got the top, looks like 8 need to come in and make their pit stop here. The rest have already made it, and you should see them maybe all coming in, diving down this time. And looks like the 88 coming down as well.
Whoa!
And quite a few
9
lockups and getting really close there, but somehow...
How did the 9 not get a black flag? Wow!
We made it through an entire pit stop here with no penalties. So kudos to these drivers, and wow. That certainly, it looked like it could have been kind of crazy there for a little bit. But either way, everyone down and in there now. Again, this is where we'll see how everything comes back together from everybody making their pit stops and now coming back to the field here, because it is going to be... Oh, and that could be, at the very least, that could be a penalty coming out for going above the yellow line.
Yeah, Shively got a black.
And that is a shame. I mean, he got tagged in the back earlier, but oh no, this was a black flag coming in. So I didn't see that for the 85, but I did see it was at the 60, I believe. It was Shane King maybe drifting up above the yellow line coming out, but either way, I don't see any black flags. I mean, that was close. He got lucky if that was the case. But
you don't see this very often, Carl. I got the 60 out to a 2-second lead over Josh King.
That's not going to last too long. Here comes the back. He is all by himself. It's nice. It's nice having that little lead until the freight train comes, and it's choo-choo. It's coming. As, we're getting close to that halfway point. And actually, we are past the halfway point now. And we'll enjoy watching this field all group back up together and turn over to the sights and sounds here at Daytona with a little love to hear it.
A little love to hear it.
Yellow, yellow, yellow. flag, green flag.
Right on cue there, we see our leader, Shane King, went down to the bottom and did a couple jumps on the backstretch on that bottom there as well. So I don't think that was designed, but the 60's still running and still out there. So yeah, that was interesting. But either way, we keep it green here. As we're back to green, you've seen the yellow flag that was out briefly there under the. I'd love to hear it, but we are back to racing. Joe Thomas back to the lead as well. Joshua King, Tom Lanier for your top 3, James Smith, Jake Raven for your top 5. Then you got Jeremiah Grau, William Martin, Jorge Ledesma Jr. now starting to make some moves here up into the top 10 and 8th. Tyler Reed, Christian Proctor for your top 10 as we're down to 25 to go and still should be another pit stop to go before this thing is over. We'll see if it gets under green or not because we see some aggressive driving and some aggressive battling here. As you see the one there, Timothy Presley, he is still not on the lead lap, still trying to figure out a way to get back up there and at least be in the lucky dog position. Robbie Minor is in the pit lane, so it looks like Presley may end up moving up to that lucky dog position, at least momentarily.
Well, 48's dragging the wall here as Rob Higgs and Timothy Pritz goes by, but looks like Frosty's using the restroom there for Rob.
And certainly a colorful paint scheme here, and definitely ready for the Christmas season. But we are 3 wide at the front, and I know we're down close to last 20 to go here. The one trying to get in there again. Presley is trying to get to the lucky dog position here, but. Sketchy to say the least. The 14 there getting close. That's Rob Higgs trying to get up there with Timothy Presley as they are battling for the lucky dog position with the 53. Unless I'm missed something here. I think actually, never mind. I think Timothy Presley's 2 laps down. That could be why, because the 53 is in the lucky dog spot.
No, Robbie is...
Andrew Jones is actually maybe going to be the lucky dog here because we are going to get a caution. Robert Altman went off the track. Looks like Shane King crashed as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happened and brought this one out.
Aaron Ginsky up front in the 115.
Oh, no, this was the last. Never mind. This was the last incident.
Never mind.
Yeah.
That was the last one. Sorry.
Robert Altman was involved in this one, and I think it has Shane King crowd right there. You see at the back of the field, the 60 coming down across the nose of the 69. Starts to spin, and then the 60 ends up shooting up the track into the 94, collecting him a heavy impact right there for both those drivers.
Right in front of the 7. 7's going to tag. Oh, tough break for Altman. Where is he at? Okay.
Yeah, you see the hood missing on both the 60 and the 94. If they have a fast repair left, that definitely going to have to be used for that one. So a tough break for them, but back under caution here, and this will give the drivers a chance, maybe, to make it to the end here, Jimmy. I mean, we're kind of right at that bubble window. You know, we've seen drivers stretch it out to about 22 laps on the run here, and you know, we got about 22 left right now, so they could be in the window here if they come into the pits to be done for pitting here. Yeah,
I'm coming in, regardless, and I'm getting fuel because I could probably you could probably make it the rest of the way, especially if you're not up front. And then the odds of another caution, Carl, are extremely high here at Daytona. I mean, you see how quick it happens. So and they're really close racing all around. So, but yeah, Joe Thomas is gonna start this thing off here as he leads the pack down the fleet. But some not taking it. Never mind. That was Timothy Presley. Gonna try to roll the dice here, work his way around here. So you got a few drivers out there. I think Robbie Minor, yeah, he's going to get the wave around. And he'll be able to, because he's lucky dog. So Robbie Minor, I think, is the lucky dog. We'll find out here in a second.
Yeah, it looks like Robbie Minor is lucky dog. He's going to get back onto the lead lap.
Yep.
And as it stands right now, just trying to get this situated on my end here. Looks like we got 25 drivers now, 26 it'll be with Robbie Minor getting his lap back on the lead lap. But actually, I'm trying to see if Andrew Jones was on the lead lap, if Robbie Minor was down 2 laps and now is down 1, but I think it should be that he's down, he's back on the lead lap right now. It's just kind of waiting for the time and scoring to get corrected here. But either way, we'll have 25, 26 cars on the lead lap, and this late in the race is pretty good. I mean, we've had some cautions here, but not a lot, really, all things is for Daytona. So pretty good job here for the drivers so far through this race, but even though we're down to about 20 laps to go, it's still a long way to go in this thing, and we're not anywhere close to this thing being over.
No, 20 laps that's a whole race here at Daytona. There's a lot that can change. I mean, it's just outside of probably just inside of a pit stop here with the Hold Your Brakes Academy, and who's closing in on them incident points now, Carl, as well. It's not like we have a bunch of off tracks that kind of tell you who's up there and whatnot, but I'm sure we only have one car out, and that's Matt Bryant. I don't think he took the field here tonight, but everybody's out there. Even Sean McLean, he's 24 laps down, still out here running some laps, getting some practice in there, and that's a tough pill to swallow. Obviously, being 24 laps down, I think he had a drop for an internet connection or something, and sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow, but few drivers out there trying to make things work. Timothy Presley is going to go ahead and get the wave around here, and I think that puts them to 1 lap down along with Rob Higgs. Rob Higgs is a few more laps down, so Timothy Presley just needs he can let Rob Higgs go, and just hang back at the back of the pack, and a caution's going to come out. Just don't get involved, and he'll be back in the lead lap before this thing's up, and then have a chance to run up through the field. We've seen so Timothy Presley is usually a pretty aggressive driver out there, so we know that he'll take chances. It's either checkers or wreckers. There's obviously he runs the Wreckers pod, or is on the Wreckers podcast, and it's one of the tags you can see up on the top left, the icon that they sent over tonight here for the Daytona 162.5. So it's the amount of mileage here tonight that they will run, as long as they finish at 65 laps. But you can always have a green white checker, and it could be a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, do we change the logo? Is it 162.5 ... in case we run some overtime here, or are we locked in here? I mean, I'm sure they're going to have green white checkers if they need them, but
I mean, either way, add 2.5 miles for every extra lap that they go. So
exactly.
If they go around 165 and then 167.5. I mean, so you can keep going up, but
this could be the 175 before we're done here.
Oh yeah, we got 2 green white checkers, 3 possibly.
I believe so. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so we'll see how it all plays out here. But at the front, Joe Thomas still out there in the lead. Joshua King in second. James Smith, Tom Lanier, Christian Proctor made his way back up there. Jake Raven, Jackson West, Jeremiah Grau, William Miner, and William Martin and Jorge Ledesma Jr. for your top 10. Back to the restart zone and back to racing action here as we're back on the loud pedal racing again here at Daytona. And we are down to about 18 laps to go here before this thing is over, so still plenty of racing yet to go, but you may see the tensions start ramping up here a little bit, and you may start to see a little bit more aggressive driving. Unfortunately, that usually leads to caution flags here at the end, but hopefully get a good green flag run here. We'll see what these drivers can do. It looks like everybody should be good to go on fuel the rest of the way. I mean, you're going to have to make it 21 laps. You got a couple cars out there with a black flag. Tristan Minor, Andrew Jones. Looks like Jones already in pit lane to try and serve that penalty. Tristan Minor has got a black flag as well to serve, but the pack grouping back up here 2x2 for most of the pack.
Yeah, mostly 2x2, and I think we're going to see this here throughout the end until the end of the race here, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, people are going to want to try to be up as high as possible to get the chance to get the win, but with them running as fast as they are, as close as they are, an accident can happen at any moment. You can see some of them cars still drifting up in the corners on corner entry, and it's something that takes a little bit to kind of to learn and to get correct. But you should be able to get into the corner and just hug the yellow line if you're down at the bottom. And you should be able to stay side by side going through the corner without flopping up about a half spot. And you can see there, I believe that's James Smith in the 9. He's done it 2 corners in a row. Going into corner, drift up. Going into corner, drift up. So, like, if I'm the 17, got to be kind of aware of that. So, if you're going in a corner, you might want to drift up as well. So, he doesn't hit that, back right corner or left corner and spin that car up. And next thing you know, the whole pack will go. So, definitely need to keep an eye on the 9. We're going to see right in here, is he going to go down in the 1? And this time he's able to, still drifting up just a little bit. Not as bad this time by, but you can see right there in the middle, it drifts up again. And he could be doing that just to breathe. I don't know. But to me, it's just like kind of overdriving the corner, obviously trying to push Joe Thomas to stay out front. You can see a lot of shifting going around in the back there. You see that's Kelly Akron again back there. He's not on the lead. Where is he?
Yeah, Kelly Akron is on the lead lap as we got the top 24 cars on the lead lap right now because Tristan Minor coming in to serve that black flag penalty. So it's going to drop us down to 24 on the lead lap. Timothy Presley is your first car, 1 lap down, still working, still trying to get back on the lead lap. He last pitted lap number 34, so he's going to have to make a pit stop before this thing is over, but he's hoping that a caution will come out to get him back on the lead lap, allow him to make that pit stop, and finally be able to race here once again. But as it stands, it's getting a little racy here at the front, and we're getting down to the final 16 laps left in this thing. On the outside, it is Joshua King trying to take the lead away from Joe Thomas, but it's 2x2x2 for a majority of the field until you get to the back here with Robbie Minor, Thomas Oswald, and Robert Altman. They're kind of at the back of this pack, and then you got a little gap back to Bryson Anderson in the 7, the 21 of Quinn McLean back there as well, and then Ryan Perone just kind of hanging back, and we'll see what kind of happens from here. Haven't really talked about Jeremy Gill here too much in the race, but he's back here in 23rd, maybe just kind of hanging out, waiting, biding his time. Some of these other ones, but yellow flag is out. Looks like Quinn McLean, Sean McLean, both involved in this one, and now a few others. Is this the big one at Daytona? It looks like it might be.
Go back and check it. Oh, wow, that was crack. That was quick. Happened quick here. We'll go back here with oh no, Timothy Presley needing that lap back, and I think he was in the lucky dog spot. And look at this car. Looked like the 60 is going for a move. Push down the 1. 1 kind of coming down, but maybe some net code a little
60
bit.
Looked like 60 kind of brushed the wall there a little bit, and then the 1 thought, okay, well, there's a middle line, and then the 60 looks like he decided to slide down to the middle line, and then netcode definitely involved between the 60 and the 1 hooks him. So I'm not sure if the 1 will get a a lucky dog on that one as well. But 3 cars end up with a meatball on this one. Thomas Osborne, Robbie Minor, Ryan Perrone, all with a meatball, as well as Rob Higgs in this one. So not a end of these this race that a lot of these drivers wanted to have, and you wonder who is at that point where they don't have a fast repair anymore, who's getting close to that penalty spot where they're going to have to come in to serve the penalty, who's getting close to getting DQ'd. A lot of things are starting to move and shake here. Looks like Robbie Minor is he got his meatball cleared, but he's still got a black flag. So not sure if he got a black flag entering the pits or what the case is, and trying to get served.
Yeah, tough ride here for Robbie. Obviously on board, you can see it inside the 85, comes up, hits the 14, hits the wall. It's just kind of riding along here as he's along for a ride, going spinning down the backstretch area, ends up turning around. Yeah, it's a crazy ride here. You know, when you're trying to collect things, as things go by, doing spins, trying to turn the wheel, but it looks like you just got things kind of locked up and steering wheel's held straight. Just kind of let things kind of settle down and you know, just take it as it goes. But yeah, tough ride there for Robbie and a few gang, but a few drivers coming down. Obviously in pit lane now, a lot of meatballs. You said obviously 3 up there right now. Robbie Minor with 1, Perrone still has theirs, and yeah, some other drivers just taking maybe some fuel, maybe some new tires to kind of try to get things to work a little bit. Make sure there's a couple maybe an extra gallon of gas in there for an extra lap, you know, because them green white checkers are looking kind of tasty here towards the end of this one, Carl, as the racing has just now started with 13 laps to go.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, you know, we talked about these drivers maybe being in the pit window. That's to get to the end of the race. If this thing goes into overtime, it's not necessarily the case anymore, because, you know, the overtime is not just, you know, a couple extra laps. You're probably looking, you know, depending on when it comes out, obviously, you may be looking at 3 extra laps, and 7.5 miles of saving fuel is quite a bit at the end of this race. So we'll see how it all plays out here at the end, and you never know, maybe they surprise us and go green the rest of the way. But not surprised to see the 44 up there in the top 10. He mentioned just kind of biding his time early on into the race. He's now up there, 4 wins on the season. Can he get another type of race win under his belt? And that's a 2.5 mile super speedway here tonight, as he is looking to get it done for sure. And we'll see what happens here, but it's still quite a ways to go. And I'm trying to figure out what was going on there with the 48 there, Jeremiah Grau. Not sure if he had connection issues, went down to the bottom, but now he's working his way back up into position. And once again, it's going to be Joe Thomas and Joshua King leading the way here at the front, trying to hold on to those front 2 spots.
Yeah, trying to hold on there. Obviously, you know, Joe loves super speedways. It seems like, I think every time I've seen Joe run, it's been on super speedways. There's a few other drivers that are on my friends list, and every time I see a few of them, they'll be running like the 87s at like Daytona or Talladega. You know, some of those drivers that really like them older cars, and kind of every now and then kind of pop in to see how they do. And just tend to do that a lot with iRacing. You know, you just look at your friend. I do anyways. I'll be on iRacing. I'll look up on the friends list and see who's racing, and I'll just go watch. I guess that's the broadcaster part, just kind of rubbing off just a little bit. Like, hey, I wonder what they're doing. I'm gonna go check it out. So, and see how your friends are doing in some of these official races, or maybe it's another league race or something. But a lot of fun to watch your friends race here. You know, and then get a chance to get out there every now and then yourself. Looking forward to our new season that will be coming out here with the Core Premier Series, which will come back in January on Sunday nights after the 191 race.
Yeah, not going to be televised, at least for the first season, as myself and Jimmy are going to be getting back in the car for better or worse, and getting back out there on the track and mixing up, and finally get to let our hair down a little bit and have some fun. But this thing is not over just yet. We're going to have 11 laps to go when we get the green flag, and that is still plenty of racing here at Daytona. It's Joe Thomas, Joshua King, James Smith, Tom Lanier, Christian Proctor for your top 5, Jeremiah Grau, Jackson West, Jorge Ledesma Jr., Aaron Genske, and William Martin for the top 10. Hopefully they can get this thing green at least for a few laps, get us close to that white and checkered flag. But I agree with Jimmy. I don't think the carnage has really kind of even started. I know the last one right there was certainly a bit of a big one here for Daytona, but we're still quite a ways from the end of this thing, and technically a ways from needing to push to get up to the front, but you can already see these drivers are getting kind of antsy, and we're heading back to the restart zone. Joe Thomas back on the lap pedal. We're racing again here at Daytona.
Yeah, back on the green pedal, and obviously again, obviously the leader always seems, the patrol car always seems to get out front 99% of the time, and obviously see the drivers already leaving the 17, but now the 13 going up to help the 17. So people don't want to just kind of fall in line. Obviously they know that there's some laps to go. It's not the end of the race. There's some drivers back there that can still move up through, and I would say all the way back even to where Jeremy Gill's at is a pretty decent spot right now. And Jeremy's right there, able to sniff out the draft of those front 14 drivers. Has Kelly Akron on the bumper, so a little bit of help there with speed as well. That's gonna, and then the little bit of gap there back to Ronald Cook, which we haven't talked about very much here tonight, in the number 31 Bass Pro Shops tracker machine, trying to get a decent finish here tonight. Down 6 spots from his qualifying efforts, but biggest mover of the race would be the number 48 of Jeremiah Grau, currently at 17 spots, along with William Martin, and then the 52 up 18 spots. So those drivers having a pretty good race here from where they started. Now can their luck continue and maybe get them a top 5 or a win?
I see the 17 has finally cleared the 218 at the front, so Joshua King is leaving the inside line as a 48 gets sent down to the inside. Can he get it woed up before he shoots back up the track? Looks like he hits the inside wall pretty hard, but he's down off the track, so it's not going to be a caution. And so much for the biggest mover of the race. He is sent way back right now, and we'll see what happened here. Maybe a bump draft gone wrong. Yeah, I'm not sure if he got bumped there or not, but he just sent to the inside hard. I'm not sure if those issues were kind of popping back up here, but either way, we will stay green here, and Joshua King leading the way here at the front of the field.
Yeah, that's not one way you want to leave a race. Exit stage left. 2x2 here at Daytona with only 9 laps to go. These drivers looking to see who can be best this track, who can become the winner. Right now it is Joshua King leading the way. Is this the place you want to be, or do you want to be back there just a few more spots, able to move around? Jorge Ledesma on the outside of P number 4, looking like to be in a prime spot.
Yeah, shocker that the number 44 points in the lead is in 4th and maybe in the right spot here at the right time to finish this thing out. He's behind Christian Proctor, who has made a heck of a job of coming back here in the 13 as he was back and had some major issues with the first round of pit stops there. But SpongeBob back up to the front now as he's going to get around the 17, at least momentarily, on the outside. But it's 2x2, pretty far back, but we're going to have a yellow flag here to slow them all up. I didn't see what brought it out here. Maybe
the 1.
It's the 115.
1. Here's the Presley. Timothy Presley and Kelly. Nope, Tristan Minor getting into it.
Yeah, the 22 drifting up and hooking the back of the 1 there, and pretty good save altogether there for the 1, but it's not been a fun night for the man. Second in points coming in as he goes for a few loops. Tristan Minor with a black flag now, and could be incident issues for that one. Robbie Minor also with a black flag, so the Minor's not exactly making it out of this one too well. And then Ryan Perrone in the 50 with a meatball flag. He's been in the pits for a while, so I'm guessing he has no more fast repairs to get that thing back out on the track. But it's going to group up the field here one more time, and we're going to be under 5 laps to go once we get this thing back to green.
Yeah, Robbie must have had burned his fast repair early, because he's still in there. He's now 7 laps down. He was had a pretty decent run. Was up front there for quite some time, and and obviously having to nurse that meatball probably will obviously waiting on time. The cautions help with time a little bit, but right now I'm all the way back at 26. So sorry, Samantha, that the miners ain't doing too well here tonight. But Barry still has a chance, I think, with the 4 of Jeremy Gill, as Barry usually calls out a driver at the beginning of the race. He was calling the 4 out last night.
Yeah, he was rooting for the 4 last night, trying to root for the 6, but he said the 4. But either way, the 4. Yeah, we haven't said much about Jeremy Gill all night. I mentioned him earlier tonight. And
being quiet.
He's still there. He's still there. He's in 15th position. Plenty of time yet. I know I said we're going to be under 5 laps to go, but you only need a couple laps to go from back to front here at Daytona, especially have the right run with the right friends to get your way up there. But it's going to get pretty hectic, because once we go back to Green Jimmy, it's go time.
Yeah, we're in the window now. It's elbows out. Obviously, the driver, if you don't have the fuel, you don't want to go in to get. I mean, obviously, you'll have to go in to get the fuel, but there's drivers that are trying to make it the rest of the way, and hopefully another caution will come out. They don't want to go them extra laps. Is lap 44, was that the magic number? Can they go because they were under caution for these few times here? Does that extend their fuel enough here? Can they coast long enough? I mean, there's so many questions, and it really depends on what the driver's doing. Are you in your car messing around, not paying attention to your fuel, and then oh no, get back under green. I was like, oh, maybe I should have been lifting a little bit more, or coasting, or riding down the bottom, whatever it may be. There's all kinds of little tricks and stuff that you can do to kind of help yourself. Every ounce counts when it comes to fuel. The last thing you want to do is come out of turn 4 and then your car sputters. That's probably the worst feeling in the world, especially if you're in a place like Joshua King is in right now, out front in the lead, over to the 13 of Christian Proctor. Joe Thomas sitting in 3rd. Jorge Ledesma sitting in 4th. James Smith in 5th. And you have Tyler Reed, Tom Lanier, David Chapman up there in 8th. Robert White and Aaron Genske for your top 10.
I know we've been getting quite a few caution laps here, and maybe a chance for these drivers to save a bit of fuel. But you take a look back through the field. Everybody is pitted on lap number 44. The first one that hasn't, Jake Rabin, back there in 14th. He pitted on lap number 52. He's got fresh tires and fuel. Compared to everybody else, he's got 8 lap newer tires. Tires don't mean that much here, but it's really the fuel. And if this thing goes into overtime, maybe even to double overtime, 37 maybe looking pretty good before this thing is over if fuel is on the minds of any of these drivers. But should be getting the 1 to go this time by, and indeed we will. So we will have 5 laps to go as we get the green flag at this time by.
Yeah, 5 laps to go here at Daytona. That is still a good amount of distance. Obviously, looking at 12.5 miles still remaining for this race. Will they get it extended here? They're hoping not, I'm sure. And Joshua King is looking for a victory there in the number 17 Royal Motorsports machine. SpongeBob maybe trying to spoil the day. I can hear a quirky laugh coming if he can pull away a win here over Joe Thomas and Jorge Ledesma. But back there in the 9, we've seen the 47 Tyler Reed started 5th. We've seen him drop back quite a ways, but back up front here, back up in 5th, trying to get it done here tonight. See if he can get that number 47 a win here tonight. James Smith in the 9, up 10 spots in the Black Rifle machine, trying to get himself a good finish as well, up 10 spots. Dave Chapman trying to hang on to a top 10. Tom Lanier still working on a top 10, along with Aaron Genske, Robert White. But William Martin at number 52, keep an eye on that Georgia Bulldog machine. See if he can get it up even farther, as he's climbed 18 spots here tonight to find himself in P11-12.
Once again, I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like, hit subscribe, get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. I want to thank our sponsor here for the series as well, pinupsforvets.com, and certainly show your support for them if you can by checking out the website and seeing what they have out there, especially to help out the veterans. But it's time to go back to racing, and once again, it's actually going to be 4 laps to go when we get the green flag here. But is it 4 laps to go is the question. Will we have another caution? We have multiple cautions before this thing is over. Right now, worried about one color, and that's the green flag, as we are back to racing here at Daytona. Good start here from the 17 on the inside. He's going to lead him off into turn number 1 as your leader. Proctor maybe had a chance to slip down to the inside, but he wants to stay on the outside and use that outside line, and maybe that is his way to get a win here tonight. If Jorge Ledesma Jr. decides to let somebody else win for a change and maybe pushes that 13 to the win, but heading down the backstretch of 13, getting a good run to the nose in front on the backstretch.
Yeah, you see Jorge Ledesma putting the bumper, underneath the 13 and just pushing. Not able to kind of get enough momentum to get that 13 to be able to drop down into the 17. I know a lot of times that's what happens coming down the backstretch is the outside. If they get a good run, they'll drive on by and then drop down in front of the leader. You can see here the 17 looking to kind of move up and maybe take that momentum away from the 13. This is the time they do it, but that opportunity is now gone as 13's bumper is past the right side of the number 17. But Jorge Ledesma trying to give this attempt another try here and push that 13 out front. We'll see what the 13 does with the run.
2x2 for majority of the field, as it was spread out there a little bit, but now everyone catching back up. See Genski there in the 115 caught back up on the outside. Now he gets down to the inside here and coming back this time by. We are going to have 2 laps to go as the 17 out front, the 218 right behind him. And then on the outside is the 13 of Christian Proctor leading, and then the 44 of Jorge Ledesma Jr. doing the pushing. 2 to go here at Daytona. Little bobbing and weaving. And looks, we got a car blinking out. The 7 there of Bryson Anderson was dropping out a few times, and see another car there blinking out. The 88 of David Chapman Jr. blinking in and out. Got to get that hopefully cleared up here. But it happened on the other front stretch where the grandstands are, and see some cars bobbing and weaving down the back stretch. Just got to keep it together for about 4 more miles.
Just a few more miles to go here. We're on turns numbers 3 and heading into 4. Getting ready to exit 4, head down to the front stretch to take the white flag. Right now it is the 17 of Joshua Viper King out front over Christian Proctor on the outside. Is Joe Thomas content to push the number 17? Is the 44 content to push the 13? What will happen? Final lap.
Yeah, and we're not going to get any other flags here except the checkered flag. Is white flag here coming around turns 1 and 2. The 17 out there looking for a win here this season after winning the championship last season. The 13, Christian Proctor, still getting pushed by the 44. How long will they play nicey nice? And they're getting together here, heading into turn number 3. And now the 44, 13 are going to be running back to the line. And it's a massive. This is the big one. This is the massive one here out of 3 and 4. Here comes Jorge Ledesma looking for another win. Proctor trying to side draft down to the line. Side by side and photo finish. 5th win of the season goes to Jorge Ledesma Jr. You cannot stop this man here this season. He gets another win. And how about 3rd place? Barry, he didn't get the win, but he came back for a podium. The 4 of Jeremy Gill getting the podium here tonight. But oh my, we need to take it back and see the other 72 cars that got involved in that incident.
It's pretty bad, and I don't even know how Jeremy Gill got through it, because look how far Jeremy Gill is back. We're already all the way back here. So we're going to go ahead and flip this camera around, and we'll do a chase of Jeremy Gill since he made this through here. Let's see. We'll even go off the nose. Be even better yet. So you can see what Jeremy Gill is seeing just from the top of his car. This is going down into turn number 3, and you can see a lot of cars up here and around. And you can just see the chaos starting to happen as they enter, and you can already see cars sideways. That's the 17 going down, along with Joe Thomas down to the inside, but it hits the apron. That looks like the 9 is going to get up into the wall, and then just a mess. Jeremy Gill just kind of tucking in back there, trying to gets probably tagged behind, holding on to it here, go for a ride. drift a little bit, bumped the car, kind of maybe keep him from going up the track. Sees the 115, 17, still trying to collect it. Doesn't quite have the momentum, but yeah, just makes it through that mess. And you can go back here and you could just see the chaos of all the cars colliding in and around each other. 88, 52, 94, 37.
I wouldn't even start, Jimmy. I wouldn't even just everybody but the top three. let's just wrap it up right
4X
there.
for everybody. 4X for everybody.
Well, and here's the big thing, Jimmy, is how many cars involved here got a a DQ because of this, or got a penalty because of this that they couldn't serve. So I mean, that could drop them down even more spots before this thing is over. But certainly the top three, happy that they made it through this one. Jorge Ledesma Jr., I mean, just again, right spot, the right time. It looked like maybe a bump to his rear bumper is maybe what started this whole thing here on the backstretch, as it kind of shot him down there into the backside of the 17 of Joshua King leading at the time. And we'll take a look at it here one more time, and there you see either it was him bumping the 13, or maybe getting a little tag from behind. It seemed like he shot down to the 17.
There tonight. Oh, bad chopper. Gearbox. All right, yeah, we'll slow down here, and yeah, it does look like a bad bump to the right rear. Kind of gets the 44 a little out of shape there, and ends up coming down and then accidentally turning the 17. And the 44 doing a good job trying to hold on to it. But yeah, once the 9 kind of came up, yeah, right behind them.
Yep. But yeah, a little bump, kind of sideways from the 47 there of Tyler.
Over.
We'll start this thing. Oh yeah, there was a couple that went up. You see the 99 did not exactly have a fun ride going up through that thing, and the 88 they wouldn't let him down, and neither would the 69. They would not let him back down on the track for quite some time. And there you go. That's one way to get back to the line. Just right on top of other cars. I mean, you can't get damage if you're just laying on top of other cars. So there is that. But yeah, oof, not exactly a great way to end this thing. But either way, we are finished. And Jimmy, you may have to use iRacing to get it official. But why don't you give us tonight's finish?
Yeah, I'm gonna check them both here right now. It does have Jorge Ledesma. I think might be good. Right now, I have Jorge Ledesma, Christian Proctor, Jeremy Gill for your top three. We'll talk to those three here shortly. We've seen them cross the start-finish line. Joshua King, Kelly Akron, Joe Thomas, Dave Chapman, Andrew Jones, Shane King, Aaron Genske for your top 10. Jackson West, Bryson Anderson, William Martin, Thomas Osborne, Robert Altman, Tom Lanier, Ronald Cook, Tyler Reed for 18. And then 19th will be James Smith, Jake Raven, Robert White, Timothy Presley back in 22nd, Tristan Miner in 23rd, Rob Higgs, Jeremiah Grau, Robbie Miner back in 26th, Ryan Perrone, Quinn McLean, David Shively, Sean McLean, and Matt Bryant for your 31 car field. And I'll go ahead and empty that out here real quick, and I'll just double check iRacing here. As you can see, Jorge Ledesma is your winner, along with Christian Proctor, Jeremy Gill still in third, and then you have Joshua King, Kelly Akron, Joe Thomas, David Chapman, Andrew Jones, Shane King, Aaron Genske, and Jackson West. So it does look like they did match in the rest of the field here. So, but you can see where everybody started. Jorge Ledesma up 20 spots tonight, but your biggest mover is not Jorge Ledesma. It is the number 4 of Jeremy Gill, finishing up 24 spots from the get-go. And if you want to see incident counts, max incidents, goes to Tristan Miner with 18. So there's a few people that were over that. So no DQs here tonight. And incident free, let's see, the 41 of Matt Bryant walks away with a 0x. And then a bunch of drivers, Dave Chapman, Joe Thomas, only with 4x. And then obviously a bunch probably from that last little bit. But yeah, so clean race for Matt Bryant, but he did not race. So the drivers that were racing here tonight, Dave Chapman and Joe Thomas, walk away with the cleanest of the incidents.
And of course, everybody pretty much getting a piece of that last incident right there. But we got our top three ready for their interviews, and we'll go ahead and bring them in here. Third place here tonight is going to go to the number 4 of Jeremy Gill. And Jeremy, I brought you up a couple times during the race because of how quiet your race was going, and you were just kind of hanging back. And then, white flag comes out. You're in about 20th position on the backstretch. Perfect spot to be in for a podium.
Yeah, it worked out. It was 16th, and it worked, or 15th, and it worked out, man. It worked out. That strategy, I'm not that good at super speedways, so I just hung out on the back all race.
I mean, it's never a bad move to be just kind of hanging out back there and plugging away, getting all the laps done. But, at the end there, talk to me about the carnage that happened in front of you. It looked like, at the end, you look at your car, it looks like you made it through there nice and clean, but you were sideways there a little bit, drifting through 3 and 4. What were you thinking when all that started happening up there? Were you just kind of looking for, what do I do? Where do I go?
I can't tell you what I was thinking. It might get you in trouble.
Good call. There you go.
No. So basically, I was thinking the closer I am, the lower I want to be. So the closer I was to the pack, the lower I wanted to be, especially that far. I would say that far forward because we were all pretty packed up just because everything goes up. So it worked out. Now, I got nervous when I got sideways there, but thanks to Bryson and Rob for nailing me in the back, getting me back straight.
Well, either way, you made suck at super speedways or not, and you may not have been in exactly prime position on the backstretch for 1 lap to go, but you find a way to get up here and talk to us, and certainly made Barry happy to get you at least up on here on the podium. So congrats on your podium finish here tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Well, Barry, as always, and SM Racing Products, Pin Up for Vets, and Majestic Branding and Apparel, and my teammates, man. They stick by me. They stick by us, and they're an awesome group of guys. I say that week in and week out, but I can't tell you how awesome my guys are. I can't tell you all that enough. So it was a fun race. The strategy paid off. So go into next week, get away from the super speedways for a little bit.
Absolutely. Well, good job getting up here and working your way through that carnage and getting a chance up here to talk to us. So congrats on the podium. We'll let you go celebrate. We'll see you next week at Auto Club.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, it's always good talking to y'all. I enjoy it. So hopefully we'll be able to come back up here and talk to y'all next week.
Absolutely. That is your third place finisher here tonight, the 4 of Jeremy Gill. Second place here tonight is going to go to the 13 of Christian Proctor.
Chris, Jimmy, and Carl up in the booth. You copy?
Yeah, you got me?
I definitely got you. Interesting race here for the 13, obviously out there, and you get a good finish here with a battle with the 44 Jorge Ledesma to the finish. A little bit of shoulder rubbing, obviously, but there was some major shoulder rubbing there exiting the pit lane for the 13. Kind of give us a rundown of that and the rest of your race.
Yeah, I don't know what happened coming off pit lane there. I was on the outside, and next thing you know, I was looking at everybody coming my direction. So I don't know what happened.
Yeah, we were kind of wondering. I forget who it was. There was somebody down your inside. I don't know if you just came down, didn't realize he was there, or he moved up and didn't realize you were there. I don't know what kind of setups y'all have, whether you're racing on single monitors. I know sometimes it's hard to, kind of feel somebody out there, when you're just looking at a single monitor, or even in VR if you don't turn your head. But yeah, definitely was an incident that was kind of keen, but it was good to see the 13 make it all the way back around. And then that battle to the end. I mean, obviously super speedways are super speedways, but kind of give us a rundown on the battle to the end. And what were you thinking looking in the mirror?
Well, at first I was hoping Jorge would push me a lot more before that big wreck there. But, man, after everyone started getting loose there, and I don't know what happened, but I got a little sideways, was able to save it, and looked back to see who else made it through, and Jorge was right there. And I was like, I guess I got to try to fight him off. But, yeah, he bumped me a little bit there coming to the start-finish line, ran me high a little bit. I wasn't able to get a good draft off of him. So still a lot of fun, though. Great race.
Yeah, it looked like you guys had a great time running to the end, and obviously, a little bit of friendly battling, a little door bang a little bit, something that you'd see on maybe Days of Thunder, but it was a pretty awesome finish as he won just by a little bit, edging you out here tonight. But you walk away tonight surviving most of the chaos of going spinning around, coming off the pits, and getting yourself a second place finish. So we want to say congratulations up here in the booth and give you some time for any shouts you might have at number 13.
I guess I just want to thank my team. I'm not officially running with a team, I don't think, in this league. I think it's my only second time out. But Mid-Tier Racing, I run with them in other leagues, and we're always working together to make each other better. So
there's nothing like a great group of people to hang out with and hone in on your crafts. But again, congratulations on your second place finish, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
That's your second place finisher here tonight. The 13 of Christian Proctor. Top spot tonight once again goes to the 44 of Jorge Ledesma Jr. And Jorge, I know you were certainly involved in that last incident there, as you got a little tag from behind and got you a little loose down in the 17. I know it's not what you wanted to have happen, but it worked out okay.
Yeah, it definitely did. I feel bad for, like Josh and Joe, they were running up front, and then Christian and I drag raced into the line. But honestly, I was happy just to run around the fourth, just push Proctor to the end and see if I could have maybe ended up third or something. I was pleasantly happy starting in the back, super speedway racing. I would have taken a top 5 all day.
Well, listen, I mean, at this point, you've won at a 1.5 mile quad oval. You won at a 1.5 mile tri-oval. You won at a 2.5 mile, rectangle of Indianapolis. You won the road course. Now you won a 2.5 mile tri-oval. So all you have to do is check off next week at Auto Club for the 2 mile tri-oval. And then you got the short track at Bristol coming up. And then you'll have pretty much swept everything that you could run in these damn oval cars. What is going on this season? I mean, you can't put a foot wrong. I know you didn't qualify here tonight. You started towards the back and you were just kind of quiet for the first half. And then all of a sudden we start seeing that 44 creep into the top 10. But even getting involved in the last wreck, you're still in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah, like I've said previously, been putting in a lot of work to practice and get ready and prepare for these races. I'm able to now and in a better headspace and everything. So I've been prepping a lot, and I can't thank my team enough with Minor Motorsports in this league, and then my main team with Revved Up Racing, and all those guys helping me over there. So it's been a really big group effort to get to me where I'm at. And then tonight. Yeah, I was lucky. Honestly, when I got tagged and I was starting to go, I thought it was over. And I'm like, okay, well, let's just see where I can salvage. But was able to keep it straight and keep a little bit more speed than Proctor, and was able to get it done again tonight. Very surprising.
Well, it's been a dream start to the season for you, and I gotta imagine you're already celebrating Christmas early here with another win. But next week at Auto Club, certainly a nice wide open track there where you can make passes, however and whenever you want to. So a little bit different strategy, I'm assuming, next week, and trying to run up maybe towards the front and get a 6th win on the season.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one again. I believe I'm going to have to start in the back again as well, and I'm going to have to work my way up. So that's going to be a little bit difficult. I know Jeremy is very good on Auto Club. Raced him in this league and other leagues as well, and I feel he's going to be the one to beat there. So it's going to be a tough challenge to try to get from the back to the front and race him, and hopefully have a car left there at the end.
Well, we wish you luck to get a 6th one, but it's already been a fantastic season for you so far. Congrats again on another win. Before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. Both of you guys do a fantastic job. Me and my family, as well as, teammates that watch, they always enjoy it. You got Pinups for Vets, Joe Thomas bringing them on, SM Racing Products, as well as Majestic Branded Apparel. Shane for putting on this league. The guys at Minor Motorsports for having me for this season and us running together. And, unfortunately, they had some bad luck tonight, but, positive strides. I'm looking forward to Auto Club with them next week. I think they're going to do really well. Thanks to my guys over at Revved Up for helping me out in prep and strategy and everything else, leading up to this series, and as well as our sponsors over there, Circle W Farms and No Names, Forged by Dennis, Corn Dog Designs, Team Chevy. And then, of course, I always cap it off with my kiddos, RJ, Brady, and Riley. Love you guys.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on your 5th win on the season and sneaking your way through here at Daytona. We'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see you next week at Auto Club.
All right. Thanks, guys.
As your winner here, again, the 44 of Jorge Ledesma Jr. It's just, it's Daytona. And no matter who you are, you got to be at the right spot at the right time. And he certainly was here once again, but it's just amazing the luck and the string that he is on so far this year. We'll see if it continues next week at Auto Club. He's obviously going to go in there as the points leader as well. But this was a pretty good one, I think, all in all. I mean, I know it came down to a crazy ending with 99% of the cars getting involved in that last wreck, but it was a pretty good race, I think, up to that point with just a few cautions kind of mixed in. I want to thank everyone out there again for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe. Get in touch with everything CRN has to offer. Again, we're not done here for the week. We got the 2-hour season finale for CSRL tomorrow night. We got the doubleheader on Thursday night with the season finale for the Virtual Velocity Racing, and then the Core GT Series following that up. So plenty of racing yet. But for myself and Jimmy here from the Daytona International Speedway, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.